Alright, so now we have to find the area of this regular polygon. We already see in this one they gave us the radius. So we don't have a side length, we don't have the apothem, they gave us the radius. So I'm going to kind of go through the steps just as I would with the other one. Step 1, we're going to do 360 divided by the number of sides, which is 5. And so that tells us that our central angle is going to be 72 degrees, right? If we look here, I'm going to pull the triangle out, make it a little better. And we know that the whole central angle is 72 degrees, right? So if we have to find the apothem and we split it in half, what is 72 split in half to? Hopefully you said it. Each angle's worth 3 degrees. And that's an A. That's not a 9. Looks like a 9 at first. So each angle's 36 degrees. And so how are we going to find our apothem? Hopefully you said it. We're going to have to use our, I forgot to name that trick. So we're giving the hypotenuse and we're trying to find the adjacent angle. So that tells us we're going to have to do the cosine of 36 degrees equals adjacent, which is also A for apothem, over the hypotenuse. Multiply both sides by 10. And then, let me see, 10 times cosine 36 degrees. Okay, so that gives us 8.09 is our apothem, right? So now that we know what our apothem is, we also need to figure out the base because we have to find big P, the perimeter of the base, right? So if we're going to find this one, that's going to be sine, which is sine 36 degrees equals opposite x over the hypotenuse, which is 10. Multiply both sides by 10. And now our base is going to equal 5.8778. Now keep in mind, and I'm going to just round it to 5.88. If that's 5.88, and that's 5.88, if we multiply it times 2, that means that whole base is 11.76. So now we know our base, right? So we can multiply to get the perimeter of the base. 5 sides times 11.76. 5 times 11.76. And so that's approximately 58.8. And so now we have our perimeter of the base. So now that we found our perimeter of the base using sine, our apothem, we can find the area, which is the apothem times 58.8 all over 2. And your answers might be a little different than mine because you're using your graphic calculators. I'm just using my phone. So I'm getting, chopped up answers. It should be somewhere approximately 237.8. And that's the apothem. Got it? Next we have composite figures. Composite figures in a nutshell is just taking a bunch of figures and putting it together. But it says a figure that can be separated into the regions of basic figures. So a figure that can be separated into regions of basic figures. When we talk about basic figures, we're saying it can be separated into circles, squares, triangles, and you're finding all those smaller areas and then adding them together. So the first one we're going to look at is just adding. Here I can pretty much kind of chop this in half. And so then I have a square where I'm finding the area of 15 times 12. Then down there I have a rectangle, which is 27 for the width, but then we have to find the length. Well, if we know this side is 12 and that side is 12, then we basically do 21 minus 12. Sorry, allergies. And we know that that's going to equal 9, right? So we have 9, and so now we can find both of those areas. 15 times 12, which is 180, and then 9 times 27, which is 243, Add those two together, and the composite figure is 180. My battery is about to go dead, so I'm not going to be able to finish all this, but try that on your own. I'm going to try and hurry up and do this one before it goes dead. So here we're subtracting. We want to find the area of the entire rectangle, which is 18 times 36. That's going to be 648. And then we have to find the area of the triangle. If we know that base is 36, this base is 36, then we can split the triangle up into 2. And so that tells us this is 18 and 18. And then you're going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem so that we can find the height of the triangle. Let everybody go. Oh, I'm tripping. It gives us the height. The height is 9. So the area is base. We don't have to split it up. The whole 36 times the height of 9 all over 2. I'm just trying to rush before this time go out. 36 times 9 divided by 2. We get 162. We only want the shaded region, so